Inside the 50s, copping physical attention already from Duffield and also Luke McFarlane.
Umpires tonight, Farmer, Margetts and Dalglish. Umpire Farmer, great bounce to get us underway, and umpire on the rise. Now we've got a whistle a long way from the action. Dockers free kicks and holding on. They're as confused as anybody else.
It's a Dockers free kick for a push into the square, but it's got to be Jonathan Griffin's free.
Okay, so the ruckman takes
by the boundary umpire.
So Griffin, big night for him, big boots to fill.
Wait a minute, I think the boundary umpire, I think there was confusion amongst the umpires.
Back here, it's a Carlton free kick.
Wow.
Mark, get the ruckman in to take it. Get your ruckman.
That was strong of the boundary umpire to make sure that when there was an error, to correct the error before the ball is played on.
That's actually been a really sensible way it's played out. If it's the right decision, it's been handled exceptionally well.
Cruiser drives inside the forward 50 then, coming up weight, bounced off his chest. Betts was pushed out of it. McPhee, Griffin. Kick was smothered. It came from Duffield. Goes back towards Mzungu. He ran into a dead end. We'll have a ball up about 40 metres out from goal.
It's a positive start there by Carlton. The first inside 50, Eddie Betts puts on a bone-crunching tackle. That just shows the commitment to the footy early from the Blues.
Sellout crowd. We've got over 36,000 at the moment, so it should get close to 40,000. As Dennis said, big night for Griffin. Goes against Cruiser, Betts, McPhee. He did well on Milne last week. Mzungu, very impressive Mzungu. Mature age footballer. Kick out to De Boer. So De Boer and Gibbs interesting, Tom and Lee. I mean, that looks like it might be the matchup. Gibbs was playing loose in the back half. Thornton had it just smothered by Johnson in a boundary throw-in.
Yes, I guess De Boer plays a bit of that defensive forward role, so I guess whoever's the most dangerous Carlton defender, he'll try and get some body on.
So, Carlton inside the 50. High tackle on Main. So Pearce with the advantage. What a good start Pearce has had in 2012.
Just beyond the wing with a kick. Henderson leads back. It's 2-on-1. Henderson looking for Dygan. Dygan eventually gets to the footy. Murphy hard against the boundary line. Goes down towards right half forward. What a beautiful kick. Almost found its way to Thornton. Just punched away in the nick of time by Main. Ibbotson goes around the outer side close to the boundary. It spills out. Down goes Ballantyne. That was just a token.
He put a bit of body on him, but he makes sure of the buckled knees. You never know. Unfortunately, you don't get free kick for staging, do you?
Cruiser and Griffin. Griffin just won the tap. LG Hill was clever. Got through, and then with a long kick to fall forward. Pavlich in the front spot with Henderson, and the Dockers get it forward. First time I've seen Fremantle on this ground under Ross Lyon. I mean, we know that type of play. It'll be interesting with the bigger ground, that defensive mindset. It's worked okay. They beat the Cats here in the first week. They beat the Lions in the third week. There are plenty of open spaces on this ground. Again, Griffin and Cruiser.
And just on that point, Bruce, obviously a massive ground here at Patersons Stadium, Subiaco Oval. Fremantle use the corridor more at home than they do away, so not afraid to take the game on.
Griffin started well. Locks up with Cruiser. Gets an arm free at the last moment. Fife had the football, and it fell behind him. Big scramble. Robinson loves the situation. Umpire balls it up.
Interesting decision to start Judd forward outside the centre square. I mean, he'll be in the centre square plenty of times, but I think it's partly to get a really quick, creative runner, because there's going to be a lot of space when the ball comes out of this area.
Again, Griffin slapped it down. Simpson, high ball back towards midfield. McPhee was up. Judd gets the crumb, wheels around, comes across the ground into the path of Scotland. Nobody up ahead. Scotland the one bounce. Put it this way, a lot of green to work with. He backs off, hand passes back to Gibbs, who waits for a runner. Coming across and filling the hole is Walker. Sort of got the runner, goes down towards the pocket, punched away by Dawson. It goes out of bounds. We'll have a throw in.
Played that really well there, Dawson. Didn't have a direct opponent on him at the time. Johnson was covering weight, but worked the ankle. Still would love to see him take the ball instead of fisting it out of bounds.
So Hampson to do the ruck. Both Hampson and Cruiser play about 80% of the time, so they're normally out there together. Scotland was good, and then he's held up by Mundy and also Griffin, and holding the ball.
Jonathan Griffin, your footy. You're driving the ball. Thank you.
So at last he gets that touch, Griffin. Mundy Good kick. And Anthony, who started interchange, comes on. Griffin, interesting, Dan, because I read today in the West Australian that he came off last week. East Fremantle, East Perth didn't see the game out.
Had a bit of a sore groin in that game, Bruce. He was only on for the first 10 minutes, but obviously recovered there. And maybe they brought him off when they knew Sandilands was a little bit sore from the Friday night, the night before.
Could be right.
Yep, so Monday back to Duffield.
Duffield, hard against the boundary line. Kicks the interchange gates. Pavlich in front will get the free. Pavlich wheels around, plays on immediately. Nobody inside his forward 50. Mzungu just puts it to space. Interesting situation, two speedsters. Hill's got the football, kicks the goal.
This example here
Speed, hasn't he?
of getting the ball over the top into space with Hill was one of the really tactical plays that Essendon implemented last week against Carlton. Bring all their numbers up, have their open forward 50 and get it over the top. So Carlton need to be aware of that they suffered against the Bombers last week, and the first goals come as a result of that also.
We know Armfield's got the job, as Brett Ratton told us in the pre-game interview, but gee, when it gets to a speed test, I don't think he's going to be able to keep up with Hill. As soon as Hill got the space over the top, he was gone.
It's his first goal for the year. He's a goal kicker, we know that. Actually, Pavlich worked his way through that very cleverly. Mzungu's kick was terrific. Actually, both attacking forays in the last minute have been similar. Scotland back to Gibbs, Gibbs to Walker. They didn't get the goal. So Judd in the centre now, Lee. And Murphy from Judd, kicking forward. Thornton, who's a real swing man these days, out wide to Simpson on his wrong side, but it's a neat kick off the boot. Just floated a bit too far.
Just seeing the match up there. Crowley's going to Judd when he starts in the centre circles. When he's not there, he'll play more of just a typical midfielder role.
Ibbotson to Broughton to Barlow. Now to Bohr, held up by Betts and holding the ball. And then Betts wanting to go, now called to go. And that's not a good kick. Mzungu to cut it off to Duffield. And Duffield looking for Griffin.
Duffield has been busy. Goes to the outer side. Anthony worked over there by Jamison. Slaps it out, but straight to Simpson. Should be too nimble for Griffin. Pulls away. Slips a hand pass across to Curnow. In trouble, Curnow. Back to the voice, but he threw it. No sentiment in umpiring. Hayden Kennedy's number 7. Snapped up in a season. There's Mzungu.
Didn't retire it for 12 months.
No. Well, at least. On the outer side, Ballantyne. A dangerous kick. Broughton made it look okay. Crowley measuring the kick. Well done again by Duffield. Here's De Boer. Just going straight up the middle. Lobs it for Barlow through his fingertips. All Carlton behind. Dygan could have almost got a free. Barlow's got the football. Dygan's got him. Ball's in there somewhere. And the umpire calls for it. Fremantle up by 6 early going. On a warm Friday night in Perth.
Dockers in the far inside the forward 50, or one of their players, Crowley, went to ground. He'll be annoying somebody, that's for sure. Griffin's tap. Speaking of annoying, Ballantyne, good tackle. And that ball held up, so Dockers 50 metres out.
A lot of bodies, as always, within 5 or 10 metres of the footy, but once it breaks from that congestion, then it becomes a real speed test. Just really early on, I think that the Dockers have actually been matching that Carlton strength of speed.
Gibbs about 5 metres in front of Pavlich and Henderson, who we saw a moment ago, filling the hole. Simpson just off the side. Jim Mzungu's pick-up was terrific to Dawson, and Dawson, well, I'll pay that. I'm not sure if he pointed out to De Boer, but it came off brilliantly. What about the pick-up on Mzungu?
He's a good player, isn't he?
I don't think we think Zach Dawson kicks well enough for that to be a pass. I think that's been just a kick off the... he shanked it a bit. Let's have a look here. Oh, maybe he did.
Came about from great pressure from Hayden Ballantyne. Fremantle this year, one thing that they've been exceptional at is the forward 50 pressure.
There's 1 goal, 3 from set shots this year. Is that coming back and straightening up? No. So 1-4. So Dockers doing the scoring early. Not much of it, by the way. You feel like it's going to be a low-scoring match, don't you?
Hard to get a kick. Both sides do deny opposition possession.
Joseph. Oh, Joseph. Grabbed, affected the kick. It wanders up towards midfield. Ibbotson trying to go through. No chance there.
Thank you.
Dockers by 7. Doesn't look anxious. Bit going on in his life at the moment. bounce, the attacking side of the centre square for Freo. Ballantyne taken down strongly by Robinson. May not be Ballantyne, looks a bit big for Ballantyne. It's Pearce.
Thanks, mate.
The last time these sides met late last season was a clean skip. Not so anymore. Reaching over the top, Clark comes again. Still Clark, tackled and taken to the ground by Cruiser.
He's got a big job tonight, Clark. I thought he was impressive last week, wasn't he, against the Saints? But without Sandilands, you think he's going to do even more ruck work tonight. So the Griffin can go all the way. So Clark probably just wins it, and they bang it forward a bit. Armfield out last week with the knee. He's a West Australian. There's a few of them in the team. I think they came over a day earlier, the Western Australian boys. They came over Tuesday.
Interesting there, the ruck situation. Clark and Griffin are competitive in the ruck. We saw what Carlton did to the Collingwood ruckman 10 days ago and what that did to Carlton's victory that night.
So Robinson down low. Just so many tackles early in this game. Now the umpire's looking and looking and looking, and he's going to ball it up.
Going out to these three guys. Thank you.
Carlton was setting up with Bryce Gibbs, a kick behind the play here. I think it's Matt de Boer who's trying to actually get on the defensive side for Fremantle and get the ball going forward.
After the bounce, Mundy got boot to ball. Robinson tackling everybody. The ball up.
Sure, please, Clance. Thanks, mate.
Quincy Pearce was on the edge over summer, and now he's a regular. One down by Cruiser. Murphy in a tight situation. Could have been taken high. He'll get the free kick.
Still Carlton have to be able to break. At the moment, they're hemming them in up pretty well, the Dockers, aren't they?
Yep. That's a technique everyone's mastering now, that getting the arm up as you tackled and taking the arm up over the shoulder. Murphy did it that time. Here's Dygan. Feeds it forward. In trouble. Tui. Down he goes. Murphy had it. Lost it. Spills behind him. And again, a real skirmish develops. So very much, well, I was going to say stop-start football, but the umpire's got other ideas. And it's a free kick going to Carlton.
Thanks. Straight over, please.
So interesting with how our interpretations have changed. I mean, Tui was holding the ball a minute ago. It wasn't paid, and yet, you know, I know they want to move it on, but sometimes the player's got no hope. We've talked about that for 100 years, but they don't. The one with Tui, that's holding the footy, but not paid these days. So interesting. So Robinson at half back. He's going to set it up. They had the numbers. They had Hampson, who was high. Betts. And he's kicked it out on the full. Actually, Eddie's mum has brought down a dozen of his relatives tonight. I think they're from Boulder. Is that Kalgoorlie, Dan? Boulder?
Boulder, yes.
Yep. So Cindy's mum, so they're supporting Eddie. I don't think shorts, the light blue are even longer than the others.
There's no doubt they're longer, Bruce. They're the biggest shorts I've seen. Double XL at least.
They are amazing. So, Fife. What impact can he have on the game? So good in the first two matches and then injured the shoulder against the Lions. So he gets it back from Dawson.
His first two possessions right there, and Pavlich takes a beauty, being held by the arm. Gets the free kick, wasn't paid a mark. Pavlich, just the defensive side of the wing, unloads long down towards the attacking 50. Gibbs played it very well, got the body in early, corrals the footy, comes to Scotland. He's in the back pocket. Jabs it up the middle. Nice kick too. Tui takes the mark.
To see on screen, they're setting up the zone really well at the moment. Fremantle. They're basically playing a containment one-on-one zone and just denying all the outlets.
That kick asked a lot of Simpson, but he's done okay. Simpson feeds it off. Good to see this man Russell back in the team. Well, maybe not. Depends who you're barracking for. That wasn't a good effort. Just jabbed it straight across the boundary line. Interesting Fife with those back-to-back possessions. To put that in context, last year runner-up in the best and fairest. The average 25 possessions a game. Pavlich comes back. Duffield, that's a clever kick inside. Broughton goes across the ground. Dawson. Man on the far side. McPhee, he ignores that. Searching kick. Well, he was searching for Henderson. Just talking about those stats again. That was his second season, so average 25 in his second. Chris Judd in his second, 18. Dane Swan in his second 13, and this ball's gone out of bounds on the full.
We thought that Carlton had really come out with some real life after a bad game last round, but at the moment they just can't crack. Fremantle just look like to get more numbers on the field at the moment.
I've written all that down, Dennis. That was pretty impressive. So holding.
Reasonable time.
So Henderson, a couple of mistakes by him.
360 revolution.
Yeah, they're flatly at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, well,
not much energy.
You often think they look really quick, Carlton, but at the moment the Dockers are more matching him in that speed around the contest.
Interesting player, Main, isn't he? He's
a really important player for them.
25 goals last year. A lot of them early in the year, but such a defensive role. He played it on Fisher last week. Carlton don't have an obvious big playmaker in the back half. Maybe it's Gibbs, but it looks like De Boer's got that job. Short, okay. For Barlow.
When you're talking about the sort of energy lead, that's a good example of it there. When it's a set play and you've got time to set up, if you're really on your job, you don't let an uncontested mark inside the forward.
They should be able to be just moving. In other words, they're creating, they're occupying space, the Carlton players, but not really looking where the ball might go.
Speaking of stats in your first year, Den, I mean, Barlow was pretty impressive, wasn't he? I mean, a remarkable opening year. So Barlow not coming back, and that is a behind. So a couple of misses, De Boer, Barlow, both missing from gettables, and you feel like the Dockers should be a little further in front.
I'm with you, Bruce. There's Tui.
Best in the competition, Carlton scoring from kick-in, so they've got an opportunity to set something up.
Slow start. Scotland comes out wide. Walker just forward, left half back. I think I'm in the minority, but I don't mind these uniforms. Maybe the shorts are a bit much as the ball comes beyond the wing. Griffin played, comes back to Duffield, finds so much of it. Dawson down low to Crowley. How did he get rid of that? Good tackle. It was the hand pass that did him in. Down at his feet, lost his momentum as Judd comes out wide. Curnow, oh, not 15. Murphy was just standing there, got the drive-by pass. The ball goes across to Russell. Russell swings it wide. Now they can make something of this. Henderson, normally a pretty good kick, puts it out in front of Hampson. Hampson, unfortunately, found it falling short. Half volleyed it off his body across the boundary line.
Tell me what you saw.
Oh.
Brett seems very confident. Came under his knee, so it's out of bounds in the full. Free kick to Fremantle.
No, it's not. No. Got that one wrong.
Certainly off his thigh, wasn't it?
Yep, so Ibbotson to Duffield. Just looking for weight. I don't think I've seen him so far. So that kick's dangerous. Griffin's got to get rid of it in a hurry. Judd got to him in a hurry. Hampson swings it forward to Betts. Betts gets it back to Robinson. Closer behind, so Carlton on the board. It's taken a long time, but there's no damage done in terms of the score for the Dockers yet. Again, Judd spending a fair bit of time around the 50, isn't he?
So Duffield with the football. Hardly a breath of wind as the ball goes to the outer side. Mzungu was up, punched away there by Gibbs, and it goes out of bounds. Tendai Mzungu. Just the name sounds tough. My coach tells me, I want you to play on Tendai Mzungu. I'm not happy. Please, coach, forget the name, just the number. He says 13. Still not great. There's a chance for 5. Valentine was taken high, bit of an exchange. Robbo wasn't listening.
I reckon Mitch Valentine, I was about to say. Mitch Roberts is the type of player that might get sucked into Hayden Valentine. It's going to be not stuck in, sucked in.
It's going to be to centre wing, and now Pavlich with Henderson, and Gibbs was terrific to Murphy, and then to Cruiser. So 1 to 1 to 1A, all those number ones. Cruiser to full forward, getting back. McFarlane didn't mark it, and Garlett kicks the goal. Well, he had to either punch it away, McFarlane, or mark it in the end. I mean, he's a great defender, we know all that, but once the ball dropped, you reckon there were 2 chances, Dennis? One was Garlick, the other one was Betts.
Ah, yes.
You'd bet on that, wouldn't you?
That's where they look fast. We were talking before about sometimes they look quickly, making the point. They certainly look fast in their forward half when these guys are on song, don't they?
There's a long ball coming in here, and if you do attempt the mark like you do on that occasion with Luke McFarlane, and fairness to Luke, he marks a lot of those, but he's spending a lot of time on Eddie Betts, and if you leave Eddie Betts, it was Carlton on that occasion, but at ground level, you're in a bit of strife.
Another very good bounce. Robinson at the feet of the pack there. Ballantyne, so far this season, 7 free kicks for, none against. Gave it to Fife. Oh, well done, Henderson. Just pushing back, takes the mark. Goes across the ground to the opposite pocket. Like to see Gibbs just pushing forward a little more, maybe picking up a couple of goals tonight. Curnow back to Gibbs, around the outer side. Simpson. So he's at right half back, along the boundary line with the kick. Waite got some separation, but McFarlane showed the judgment. Dawson a bit of a fumble. Scotland robbed him of the ball. A little surprise now, Scotland. It comes across towards Betts. Waite back to Betts. Kicks a low bouncer to Hampson. Back to Walker. Walker runs the boundary line to the pocket. That was well worked. Very confined spaces out there, and Carlton did it well. Garlett's got the footy. And this you would think is almost impossible. I did make the point, no breeze. But he's got to get this ball coming back left to right. What did he do here? Couldn't rule him out. It's a bit of a marvel, but even the marvel has missed. It goes right across the face, helped on its way by Griffin. Picked up by Broughton, could have been caught holding the ball. Nothing doing. Boundary throw in.
Well, we gave him plenty of time, didn't he? That one, he'd taken a step or two. You would have thought that was prior opportunity. Probably should have been holding the ball, that one.
Dodged one there, Broughton. Good tap by Hampson at the back. Fife. Strong Fife there because he was tackled and he held the hips up and got a long ball away. Jamieson. Anthony, did he get into his back?
Time back on.
So Jamieson quickly to Russell. And Russell to Armfield. They love to do this, Carlton, the short passing game. They do a lot of it. And now they go long. Dawson left his man, did the right thing and got the ball over the line. So Mika Gale here tonight.
Percy,
obviously.
She's at home, so best of both worlds, watching Shaw play and back home.
Boundary throw in. Cruiser tried to hook it down behind. Broughton was there. High ball towards the wing. Going back, it's knocked down by Russell. Curnow, Russell, Curnow, right against the boundary line. Ample time, has a bounce, sends it back inside the forward 50. Getting his hands to it, Hampson couldn't hang on. Broughton stood up in a tackle. Duffield, only as far as Curnow. So he's about 80 metres out. Battle of defences. Do we sheet this home to Ross Lyon or not? There goes the kick down towards the pocket. Oh, should have punched from behind Johnson. Hampson takes the mark.
Interesting on that one. It was Johnson who was a loose man the whole time. He knew Ed Curnow was going to kick the ball to him for as long as Curnow had the ball. And I guess with that assurity that it's coming in, he just assumed he was going to mark it. Should have punched. Had to influence the contest.
So Hampson. 45-degree angle, only about 35 metres out. Important kick this one to give Carlton the lead. But he's got it. His goal kicking has really improved. High fives all round. They get 6.
Yeah, no, he's kicking well, Dennis. He's had a great year, actually. 8 goals for him. Interesting with the defenders there. They were with Hampson. They couldn't get a run up. They couldn't get off the ground. They just could get no elevation. Probably their positioning was all wrong. But anyway, it was a good mark and a good goal. So the Blues in front. So Carlton in front.
Bit of cat and mouse going on, obviously, with Judd and Crowley. I think sometimes Judd just goes to go and play his game out of the centre square. At the moment, he hasn't been able to really get involved in the game a whole lot.
So Hampson, 8 goals won this season. He's had a great return. Kicked 3 in the opening match.
Point B on that, you can sometimes try and outsmart the tagger's positioning when really maybe you just got to go and play your game. Judd, rather than trying to get him outside the centre square just to get Crowley out of his comfort zone.
And Judd letting the umpire know there that the tactics that Crowley were using to keep an eye on it. Armfield. So the Blues have had a good patch here. the last 5 minutes after the Dockers were a little wasteful early. Scotland, he's one of the sweepers, isn't he? They've got a few. They've got Gibbs and Scotland. And I guess, Russell, that's a great kick to Thornton. And then Thornton with that familiar style. Here's another one of their half-back sweepers in Gibbs. Almost like a quarterback he plays at times. And Russell.
Had a good 5-minute patch, Carlton, but actually the Dockers are still forcing him wide. They can't get back through the centre square. Every time they try to bring it back inside, their centre square is so critical at Subiaco. It's a long, long way round if you follow the boundary.
Jamison, his defensive 50. Long kick beyond the wing. Cruiser, what a terrific mark. Murphy on the burst inside the forward 50. A late goal would be very good for the Blues. Well, for either of them, really. Down the Blues end, Dawson just pushes it across the line.
As the president of Carlton, one of the all-time greats, Stephen Kernahan. Glenelg in South Australia. Carlton in Victoria. He's a legendary figure back home in SA. So they worked hard to get him to the Crows, as they probably did to get Pavlich here. Neither of them was successful.
We continue with the SA field.
Thanks,
Just
Joe.
like stirred out there, Bruce.
Right, thanks, Chris.
Well, it's a similar colour, isn't it? I'm with Dennis. I like the colour, but there's that Sturt's colour in South Australia. Jack Odie's famous team in the 60s. McPhee has been on Judd for a fair bit of this opening term. And then Murphy's little squeezy, not far enough to Judd. Judd knows it. He throws it up in the end. And then Broughton to McPhee. But Carlton have got a wall at the moment at centre wing, and they can't get it through. Scotland normally a good kick with ball in hand on both sides. But again, as Lee talked about, they've been forced to go very wide. Well, this is interesting now when he's up there. Dawson now. Can Pavlich get to it first? He doesn't quite all. It was a big play. Henderson to Scotland. Well, that would have been something, because I was getting excited with Pav with the footy in that area.
Towards half forward, getting a timely fist in there. Duffield gets it out of bounds.
Wouldn't you have just loved to have seen, here's the smother from Dawson, Zach Dawson. There's no one in front of him. I would have loved to have seen a leg race. Just the two of them, they were the only two in front of the play.
Would have been slow.
Quicker than us.
Robinson, Broughton got him. Right of the pack, Dygan. Feeds it back to Curnow, just lobs it out wide. Murphy. That statistician Josh, who is the Billy Crystal of statisticians, was just telling me this is a shootout compared to last week on this ground. At quarter time, 8 behinds to 4 behinds. We've seen 3 goals. Curnow.
Don't get him started, Dennis. He's got a big theory on 100 points in this game tonight.
Has he? There's Waite.
It's the Billy Crystal of someone.
Clever.
Funny. He's humorous. At least that's my take on it. What are the odds of getting a humorous statistician? We'll have to ask him.
Give you the odds.
Sort of bloke that would make Ross laugh. So 5-point game, both with 3 scoring shots. It was a 2-goal first half, of course, last week. And the winner hadn't scored a goal by half-time. Fife to Hill. Hill down low. Good kick to Pavlich. But they're in the wrong side. Pav had that great chance a moment ago. And to hear from him at half-time talking about his life away from footy, looking forward to that. Good kick inside. So a real arm wrestle, wasn't it? Carlton flat early, but they got the last 2 goals of the quarter. And most of the last half of that quarter was played on their terms. So quarter time on Friday night footy here at Patersons Stadium. It's Carlton leading by 5 points over Fremantle. 1-2 to 2-1.
As at quarter time, Friday night football, second term about to get underway. There's the boy from Lake Grace. And away we go. Umpire's bouncing it well tonight. The Armed Forces singing well. It's all on song. Chance there for Judd. He's over the football. Can't do much with it, and the umpire calls for it again.
So they're the subs. Lockie New and Kane Lucas. Lucas, a West Australian, taken in the first dozen in the draft 3 seasons back. He's had a good season. Sub a couple of times now.
High contact, Hayden Ballantyne.
So
Came over his shoulder, Zach.
you were giving the Ballantyne stats for free, Dennis. What is he, 8-0 now in his favour?
8-0, yes.
So a little chip pass, slow, but he gets to Pearce. Now this next kick's going to be interesting and important. He's going to go very wide to Pavlich. And Pavlich caught underneath. That's a good mark.
He had to sit to spoil Henderson, but Pavlich was just good enough to be able to take that strong hands out in front.
Now he's one player that you give some hope from out here. I mean, he's on massive kick. The angle's difficult.
Had Mundy one out against Murphy there, and you see Murphy really calling his players back. Doesn't feel comfortable playing directly against a taller opponent out of the square.
So you can see the angle there and just how difficult this will be. Long, long way out, but we know he's a thumping kick. He's timed it well. He's got the distance, but it's a behind, always to the near side, closest to him. So a couple of famous captains, hasn't he? Rossline, Revolt and Pavlich.
Pavlich playing his 18th game against Carlton. He's kicked 34 goals against them, including a 9. McPhee punches it out of bounds. That came in round 16 of 05.
Been good. McPhee. He was fantastic last week against Mill, and again playing on one of the smaller Carlton forwards.
Griffin backhands it down brilliantly. Fife Ballantyne. Wonderful stuff out of the ruck. Ballantyne, can he finish? No, he can't. He hangs it out to the right.
Mentioned those clearance stats at quarter time. I think they're playing an extra man up around the stoppages, Fremantle, whereas Carlton are dropping that extra man back in defence. That's probably one of the reasons their clearance numbers are going okay.
There's Robinson, still deep in his own defensive area.
Leave it on. Play on.
Told to play on now. Long ball towards the wing. Dawson, almost the juggled mark, couldn't quite. Picked up there by Walker, flings it out to no one in particular. Duffield again to Pavlich. Pavlich, the long kick down towards full forward. Always Carlton's ball. Onto the chest of Henderson. Henderson wheels wide, delivers out towards the interchange gates. Well, it's 3-on-1 and the one prevails. Well done by Simpson. The kick, not good. He was trying to angle that more towards the boundary. Garlett came across to pick up the mark there. He was the intended one.
So Pavlich on the end of it. That's a good kick to main. Simpson will be disappointed because he had Garlett short and on, and ill-directed kick in the turnover, and now Pavlich's spearing pass gets to main. They're going to have to kick one of these, the Dockers.
Yeah, here's the kick here. It was just trying to get back, didn't get back, and probably a step enough to balance to get onto Garlett. Here's the counter-attack through the middle of the ground, and this kick is absolutely brilliant.
So what's happened with Pavlich? He's obviously gone into the mid for a bit of a run. He's had 2 or 3 kicks around the mid. So Chris Main. He hasn't missed a set shot this year, so pressure on, eh? And that looks good. He's 5 for 5 in set shots and 7 out of 7 overall. Well, Genesee just had to take some chances. I mean, they've had more scoring shots. They've dominated the early minutes. They dominated, what, the first 15 minutes of the opening quarter, I guess, didn't they?
Yep. Just got to take your chances, as you say. It came down to one chance that wasn't taken there with Simpson. That was a terrible kick. He had the guy on, as we mentioned, well wide of Garlett. Even the ball coming to him was dangerous. I mean, it was 1-on-3, so Simpson did the right thing initially.
It's been hard to score tonight, but you get the ball into the hands of the right player in the middle of the ground. I mean, Pavlich didn't even think about it. He knew he could pass the ball 50 metres low and flat. He's the kind of bloke you want getting the ball in the centre square.
Dockers back on top then. They're up by 3.
Chris Judd being held by the arm.
Yeah, well, he's made his point once or twice to the umpires. He's got the free. Alongside the centre circles, Judd the high ball inside the 50, going back McPhee. It might be a free to the man who was the meat in the sandwich.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, against you. Holding his arms preventing from contesting the field.
That's a fair enough call.
Thank you.
So White directly in front should get the quick reply.
Thank you. Push out.
Robinson and Ballantyne in the same pack there. Giving up a bit of steam. Meantime, White comes in and kicks the goal, which is far more important.
Had a quietish start, Wade, but he was one of the few Carlton players that had a good game last week. Didn't get goals, but had a lot of the ball. And he's such a force forward.
He looks like a guy, I reckon, who's just about set to go off for a big number. It sounds odd, but I reckon he got 5 earlier. It was against the Tigers, was it?
Lions. Against
Lions.
The Lions,
I knew it was one of those in the zoo,
You're
whoever
close,
it was. But set to go.
So there's the purple giant, looking on.
As Lee said, the hit-outs in favour of Carlton at the moment, but the clearances are in Fremantle's favour. There you go, 12 to 8.
So Aaron Sandilands, with that knee injury, with apparently some bleeding down to the calf, so not there tonight. Griffin gets his chance. That was a good handball by Barlow to Nate, running too hard, Nate, but he stood up till he couldn't quite hold, and then Russell to Gibbs, and Gibbs floats it out wide to Joseph. Missed 1 game in his first 2 seasons, Joseph, off the rookie list in that first year, and then struggled last year and now comes in for the first time this season with a couple of injuries. Jamison gets it from Henderson. Now to Murphy, and then Murphy, lovely kick to Garlett, and Garlett turns his man and gets onto the left foot and kicks the centre-half forward poorly, and Johnson cuts it off. So Johnson to go the spread to Broughton, and then Broughton with a careful kick, Crowley running hard. He's had a frustrating night, Crowley, so far. Things haven't quite gone his way.
Carlton by 3. Judd stands the mark. Crowley sends it beyond the wing. Pavlich works in front. Ball close to the boundary. Henderson kept it in. Confronted there by Broughton. That was a clever kick under the circumstances. So was that clever. Garlett almost broke for him. Waite feeds it back. Curnow kicks inside the forward 50. Well, the chaos ball does work on occasions. Walker goes into an open goal and kicks it. Sometimes the best laid plans of coaches can be thrown out the window with a kick like that. All the defensive strategies, and one ball that comes in like space junk. It's just bouncing around everywhere, and suddenly Walker was 4th in line. So it beat 3, came to him. He's got speed, turned around, and away he went and gets the goal. So it's great to see him back, Andrew Walker, star last season.
Just the mongrel punt that comes in, and it was Zach Dawson, unfortunately. The impressive thing for Carlton here is it's Andrew Walker's first game at the level. He had real speed when he took off and got the ball. That's one of his assets as a forward, so obviously conditioned well in his time out.
So they get a margin here. 56 goals last year, Walker. Beat Betts for the leading goal kicker at the club, both 50 plus, and Garlett was just behind them. So Hill to Barlow. They suddenly get a little breathing space, the Blues. Mundy out wide. Dygan quickly onto the mark. Interesting there. Now Mundy keeping it out wide. Does Main keep it in? He does. And then Main's high ball to full forward. Pavlich goes early, brings it down. Nobody lurking. And Henderson runs it over.
Come back out, 10 dot. 5 metres.
Not sure we'll ever see another deliberate behind.
Now, you've almost probably kick it out, and that's the way it's supposed to be. It's blokes who just want to kick or hand pass it through. They're the ones that are going to get pinged.
Jammers. Oh! Walker. Almost. He's over the football now. Needs to get it out. That ball's underneath him. The umpire said it was out, so we won't penalise him.
Welcome back, Andrew Walker.
That's a better sign. He's got spring in his legs than a sprint, isn't it?
Both pretty good.
That's really encouraging.
What a leap. He's done it before, too. I think in his very first game, which was against the West Coast Eagles, was best on ground with about 27 possessions. And I remember he took one of the marks of the season in that game, so he's no shrinking violet.
2 big fellas ahead of him, too, that he jumped on their shoulders.
Took that one at the MCG as well, didn't he? A couple of seasons back as Scotland feeds it out wide to Murphy, who's been, by his lofty standards, pretty quiet tonight. Now he's in trouble, and I think he's holding it. Well, he made no attempt there, really, unless he had his arms pinned.
Third man up, Hampson. So both Cruiser and Hampson there. Fife just rolled it forward. Ballantyne couldn't get away from Joseph.
Really tested out the shoulder on that Fife just yet. He's playing more through the midfield. The first quarter is certainly playing cross half-back, finding the feel of the game, but hasn't really been worked over just yet.
But he's built his way into this match.
Oh, he's playing well.
Yep. He's done some constructive things. Clark could have almost taken it there. It was conceded in the ruck by Hampson. Not pretty at the moment, is it? I mean, it's pretty when the Blues have got it and when they can go forward.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, when the ball comes out of the stoppages, both sides seem to be set up structurally to defend. It's the turnovers, that's what's really created the few scoring shots.
His Armfield getting down low, 5. Hill. And again, congestion and a ball up.
It's been quite a taxing way to play at the moment because it is contest after contest and very defensive. And it is a hot night, so fatigue will come into it.
Rucks go at it. Zach Clark up very high. At his feet, another scramble. Umpire lets them play. Griffin head down. Ducked, according to the umpire.
No, ducked. No, he ducked into it. He ducked into it. No.
Zach Clark sounds very much like Jack Clark. For East Fremantle, all-time great in Western Australia, 4 times All-Australian, 57 Sandover medalist, 4 times All-Australian. And in those years, you had to go to a carnival to be selected. There's Murphy. And I think they were 3 years apart. There's Murphy, defensive side of right centre wing then. Just starting to ease into the game as well. They need him. That's a beautiful kick. Spotted his man Hampson, who didn't see Duffield, hand passed it straight to him. Griffin's kick close to the boundary line. It's taken across by Joseph. You made the point before, Bruce, about Joseph. I think he and Ellard are the same player. Last year it was Ellard, now it's back to Joseph.
And Curno's a bit similar, isn't he? Curno's probably keeping Ellard out of the game at the moment, but you're right, both have had bursts where they've been automatic selections and then struggling. 5, gee, did well there. 5, brilliantly to Ballantyne, changes direction and goes bang. How good was that?
Very.
Dennis Fife is something, isn't he?
He's a terrific player, isn't he? Those figures are mind-boggling, actually. I did read earlier, putting it in perspective, I think, in his second season. 25 possessions a game, and some great names left lamenting in his wake when it comes to stats. And Ballantyne can play. I mean, he won a Sandover medal. He's a really, really good player.
Have to see how he gets this out. It's just so quick, isn't it? Just the outside handball. At the time, I thought he must have thrown it. It just looked like impossible to get a handball out from the position he was.
So Carlton lead it by 2. 1 down decisively by Hampson. Hill. Griffin did well, kept going. Eyes only for the football. Pearce, searching kick inside the forward 50. Pavlich couldn't hang on. Off the ground by Anthony. Gibbs comes across, suckers from long range, and concedes a behind. Well done by Gibbs. Had to scuttle back.
That's the first time for the night there's been a clear centre clearance that's gone directly inside 50.
That's a nice kick too coming out. Got some length on it, and Robinson marks outside the 50. Invariably, both sides have been pinned down inside their 50, bringing it out. Well done by Murphy, kept it going. Well done by Hill. Bit of skill there, and the ball's out of bounds.
It's a bit of black caviar and Haylis with Murphy and Hill together.
Who's who?
Well, who's quicker? Black caviar's quicker than Haylis. I'm not sure about those two. So where's that ball going? Nowhere at the moment, but that would be a good race.
Shut up, please, Clancy. Thanks, guys.
What about the comparison between Betts and Ballantyne as the best small forward in the competition?
Well, Betts kicks more goals. I mean, Ballantyne's most is 33 in a season. Betts got 50 last year, but Ballantyne's more mid in a way, isn't he?
Certainly tonight he's playing upfield. He's not playing forward third.
So here is Hill. Duffield, Dennis talked about what a productive opening term he had to centre-half forward. And a Thornton quick off the mark. Talked about Jack Anthony last week, kicked a couple. Just started interchange, hasn't had an impact so far tonight.
Just hanging on to his spot, Bruce, as the ball goes towards half forward. Fremantle had the numbers initially, but Judd did brilliantly, got there quickly, gave it across to support Simpson, the high ball inside the forward. 50 bits! Well, Duffield would be annoyed with himself there. Seemed to have it covered, had the size, and yet Betts has taken the mark.
There's got to be contact though, Duff. There was no contact.
He took it off and he got ability to push back. He knows where the flight of the ball is, so he blocks the space. He is strong. He's got that great ground level strength, and Duffield just couldn't get at it.
Can you take your eyes off the ball like that? He's definitely looked at Duffield.
He certainly, the ball was a long way away when he initiated contact, Betts, wasn't it?
So in comes Betts. Puts it through. Well done. So it's starting to open up now.
Your goal's hard to get early, but as Dennis said, starting to flow a bit. Yeah, interesting one, Betts, too. I mean, the old 5 metres off, you know, with the ball within 5 metres, too. I mean, the ball was nowhere near Betts. I think Duffield was probably stiff. Betts played it well, but he did get rid of Duffield, used the body, pushed him out when the ball was probably 15 metres away, I reckon. Took his eyes off it.
There's a great bit of play there by Eddie Betts just to maintain that front position. Still plenty of improvement in this Dockers side. Just going through their midfielders at the moment. They're really down on numbers. Mundy, Hill, Fife, Barlow and Crowley have only had 16 possessions between them. Now Murphy's had 10 alone for Carlton.
Gee, they are small numbers, and there's one coming for Barlow now. A goal for Betts, by the way, puts him in front of the Coleman medal at the early stages of this round. Hill's kick out wide. Now Fife gets the bounce and Cruiser cleans him up. Back to Robinson, back to Cruiser, and then Cruiser gets some distance here. Duffield and also Simpson in a bit of a wrestle, and Ibbotson comes across. Now he's got a couple of options. He went down the middle. Tom talked about that the Dockers like to play the corridor, and particularly on this ground as they come wide. To McFarlane. Mzungu, very short. Not a great kick, but he marked it. So kick and a half in this. 24-31 the score. Mzungu uncertain. He's got Barlow short, and he's going to go to a contest. Main on the chest in front of Digan. Gets to Mundy. Now Mundy needs to hold it up. It's a terrible kick. Well, that's a real disappointment. Scotland to Simpson. And now they're away, the Blues.
On the outer side, Walker. Time to redeem the situation here. Tim making the point about those midfielders, and suddenly they all bobbed up. But unfortunately, it wasn't a good result for Mundy. Opportunity for Garlett. Still Garlett. Coming across his bow there was Ibbotson, and the ball rolls out of bounds. Now, Cruiser could have hit him, I think, a lot harder.
I've been watching Nathan Fife, and when he does get hit like that, he has an amazing ability to get back up and just run with great economy. He's a fantastic athlete.
So Robinson did well to Hampson, and then it came to Walker, to Cruiser, Duffield, Ibbotson. Gee, that looked high. He did duck his head. Barlow. Heard the Barlow to Mundy. Gee, Tim's got him going, hasn't he, this midfield, Dennis?
He's amazing.
Jeez, they have not stopped getting the footy since he mentioned that they were averaging about 3 between them.
What was wrong with the Saints?
So Main to Ballantyne.
Thank you.
Ballantyne, now does he go down the line or take a chance and bring it in? He's brought in a good kick. Barlow. Now, Barlow off a step. Now he's gone to Griffin at the back. No mark for Russell. Cruiser getting back. Curnow weaving this way, that way, and now finds some time and goes to a very safe option in Gibbs.
Gibbs, short one. There's White on the defensive 50. Jamison got Johnson in the air. Comes to Simpson. Comes over the top to Scotland. And Scotland closed down by Duffield, who comes up to stand the mark.
Just needed to get the ball slightly quicker to Eddie Betts. They had the outnumber on this side of the ground.
Scotland down towards the attacking 50. White has gone up ahead this time, having got the ball in the defensive 50, but he's nudged out of the contest early, and it goes out of bounds. So we've got a throw in. Fremantle trailing by 7. Plenty of the football. In this term, they've narrowed the possession gap. They still trail by 12. Cruiser, well done by the big fella. Got it down. Armfield couldn't control it. Fife falling to the ground, and Mundy's kick into space. Awkward bounce for Pavlich. Great tackle, Pavlich. Henderson. Scotland comes back to Jamison. Jamison coolly comes across the ground where it's 2-on-1, but the ball takes a Fremantle bounce and goes out of bounds.
Pav's had 2 big chances, hasn't he? One in the first quarter, one in that quarter, where had the ball just sat for him nicely, he may have gone into an open goal from about 60 out. Next goal, pretty important here. Carlton with a little lead. But the Dockers pressing. Joseph to Armfield, had Cruiser outside. Now Armfield's going to kick that mongrel type kick and try to get some time and space. McFarlane got it from Dawson, and then McFarlane, well, he got caught there a bit. He had to kick to a contest, and they need this ball now. Simpson, good tackle, terrific tackle, taken by Broughton. Broughton to Anthony, nice mark, protected the footy. Pavlich wants it quickly in, he's one out. He's taken a long time as Jack. And he goes short to Main. Not sure if he can go all the way, Main. Don't think he can. They need to construct here. They need a goal. Main comes wide. He had Clark the other side. Pavlich the target. And it's picked off pretty easily by Cruiser.
Had an opportunity to get the ball in one-on-one to Pavlich deep in the square. And even that kick to Main, saw what he was trying to do there with the space, but it was just too wide. Need to be close to goal in a more attacking position for a stoppage.
Such an admirable player as Cruiser. Doesn't seem to fluctuate. It's all about his effort, 100% all the time. He's in there again. When things aren't going for him, he plays the same way. Number 1 draft pick. Alongside Zach Clark. He came from a basketball background. Judd shrugs free. Muzungu was waiting for him.
In trouble.
That's holding the ball.
Straight up, guys. Straight up, please, now. How you get? How you get, please? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That'll be interesting. Judd saying he didn't have prior opportunity.
Straight football, actually, but...
Yeah, he looked like he broke the first tackle and got nailed the second time, so it looked like it was going to be a holding the ball. He got clear of that one. Whoa. Certainly not a lot of prior opportunity, but once you've broken one tackle, the second one will always get pinned.
Tendai doing a little tenderising. He's kicking from about 35 metres. And he misses. Gee, that was a big kick. Needed that goal. Margin 6 points in a low-scoring affair. 5-1 to 3-8. So yeah, that's right on the margin, that, isn't it? Either way.
Fair call or not, Lee? What did you think?
Yeah, I think it is a fair call. When you break the weight, certainly didn't have much prior opportunity. If you break one tackle, the next bloke gets you. That'll normally be fairly automatic.
Might come back Barlow to centre-half forward. Joseph. Does he break Pearce? Gee, Pearce got him down. Good tackle. And then Henderson. Robinson had a bit of an airy. Tough footy in there. Clark taken down. Baller. Lee set shots tonight. Carlton 3-0. 1-4 Fremantle.
Well, Carlton in front because 5-1. They've been accurate. 3-7 by Fremantle. They've missed their shots. Even game, but accuracy has got Carlton in front.
Gee, Pearce has got some upside, hasn't he? That was a great tackle. And then Pavlich just sort of gets it off Barlow in a funny sort of way, and it wasn't a great kick. Well,
touched off the boot, I think.
So now Joseph in trouble, can't get it out and the ball up.
Thank you. Thanks, mate. Ball's touch.
4.5 minutes out from half-time. 31 plays 25. Get the feeling this will be close all the way. Fremantle adopting a different style of footy. Pavlich, a strong body. De Boer a chance. Snaps, misses. Oh. Talk about strong bodies. A moment ago, Clancy Pearce was just waiting. He is thick and low built. Very hard to move. It was Joseph who ran into him, and now he may have run into Pavlich as well, so not ideal. Kick comes from Tui, virtually straight down the middle, trying to change things up here a little bit. Walker had it, lost it. Judd falls over the top of it. Well done by Mundy. Muzungu back to Mundy into the path of Barlow, and Barlow virtually shins it. Didn't get sweet contact there out to the right-hand side.
Double the scoring shots, Lee. 12-6 now.
Well, one of the things, I mean, they've got the 5 goals, Carlton, but Fremantle have been really good to stop the flow of the footy. So Carlton a very stop-start. When they get the ball running through the middle, then they look the most dangerous.
And so Gibbs gets it as far as he can. And the bounce.
I must say, Carlton's defensive mechanisms have been excellent as well.
I said Crowley had a frustrating night. He's certainly done the job on Judd, though. Judd, what, 5 disposals?
Yep. So he's hasn't been an influence at this point.
So the midfield, you feel in the last 10 minutes that the Dockers midfield has made inroads, haven't they? And here's Fife. Heard the call. Can Pavlich keep it down? Henderson uses his body. Clark Pavlich and Gibbs. Gibbs was clever, and then Henderson not very far. Again, a shinny from Barlow. Joseph, geez, a battering ram, Joseph. The kick out wide. Murphy, good contest. Griffin couldn't bring him down. Murphy, well done to Tui. And then Tui, good kick, Tui. Gets about 50 metres. Weight front spot, McFarlane. That was a great contest. On a bit of a knife edge, isn't it, just before half-time. Dockers
just can't take the shot. Simple as that. They should be in front. They've done most parts of the game better, Fremantle, except the finishing.
Well, they might get another chance here, Lee.
Pearce had it smothered off the boot, though. Russell goes back. Flicks it across towards Henderson. Now a chance for the Blues on the outer side. Simpson. Walker's on the move. Ignores that. Just lobs it by hand. This is Scotland. Scotland, nice kick. White. He's about 75 metres from goal. White. More movement up ahead. Goes to Betts. That time Duffield got a fist in. White comes hard. Taken down by McPhee.
Jared, your free kick. Get up. Slung him down. No. The ball was out of bounds. The ball was out of bounds and threw him down.
So, that's a good result for Carlton.
So the call was that the ball's out of play. So free kick, McFarlane's big fist, Mzungu. Back to Johnson, and then Johnson's kick, he had to keep it low. McPhee, he'd be tired after that wrestle a moment ago. Griffin asked a lot, did well Griffin actually, to go at Scotland hard, but it's a loose handball. Hampson couldn't quite armfield. Pressure on Gibbs, he held up. Curnow just gets rid of the tackler. Tui normally good with the ball. He just goes out wide to Joseph. Joseph's got the Lucy on. It's Russell, and then Russell goes on again, shows a bit of it. Too much in the end. Gibbs and also Hill. Gee, Hill's closing speed, so important there.
Yeah, good play, Hill. He was back blocking the space in the back 50, but then he knew he had to leave that space to affect that spoil. That's good instinctive defence.
So boundary throw in, counting down to half-time. Hampson lays it down, looking for Curnow. Fremantle needing to hold here. Curnow wrestled down by Mundy. The umpire will ball it up. We talked about that big second half by Hill last week. 19 possessions after a slow start. He's right on the edge of a big game too. It could be tonight in the second half again. His mum Stephanie has had a big week. His brother debuted for Hawthorn on this ground last Saturday night in the rain. Out of the congestion, Garlett getting back, Ibbotson. Now what can Fremantle do? They're down by 4 points. A minute and a half out from the major break. Short. Duffield coming up to his 17th possession. That's a nice kick. Found some space where there didn't appear to be any. Fife on his chest.
So Fife off a step. Good kick to Mundy. So they've done pretty well here, the Dockers. They've been able to get it a couple of kicks away from goal.
It's been the slowest ball movement half of footy I've seen this year, I reckon, that neither side can get any run and flow. It's just kick over the mark.
So Mundy's kick was touched off the boot. And back went Broughton to Fife. Oh, that's a terrible kick inside. And Carlton have got a chance now. Simpson off a step. And that's a goal. That hurts.
Well, we've had 9 goals kicked, and I reckon half of those have just been from errant turnovers. Both sides' defensive structures have been so good that the opposition, once they're held up a bit, are just neither side's finding their way through. But it's just this occasional turnover. The ball just went over the head of Ibbotson, and as soon as the ball was turned over in that part of the ground, well, Carlton had numbers going in. Simpson was the one who finished it, but really it's the errant kick that has created that goal-scoring opportunity. Very, very hard to create goals unless the opposition makes a mistake.
Well, in this term, it's been 4 straight to 2-7. Who knows? That could tell the story at the end. Margin 10 points. And in this game, that's a pretty handy lead. Another goal, and suddenly there's daylight. Judd looking for that late goal. 40 seconds to go. Puts it on the chest of White. Now White can kick it a fair way.
Just on the 50, mate. Thanks. Stay out, please.
Directly in front. White in. Kick is on the way. Has it got the carry? It's going to be close. Hit the post. Son of a gun. Gee, that would have been big.
Mentally crushing, wouldn't it? Because
yeah.
So So Dockers here, they're going to be disappointed. First behind for the Blues this quarter, but oh so close. Not many centre clearances tonight. That time Judd, who's had a quiet first half. So the Dockers will probably try and hold the clock here and eke out the seconds they need. Hill pushing forward and a boundary throw in. So those set shots, 1 goal for, 2-7 in total in this term. And Carlton with a narrow but handy lead at half-time. What's in store for us after half-time? You would think the game will open up a bit. Pearce got his head down low. Armfield tried to get it out. Scotland back turn was okay to Curnow, and that's going to be it at half-time. So that late turnover goal was pretty important. And half-time here. And the Blues have the lead. Look at that scoreboard, it tells a lot. Just a quiet first half. He started at half forward, went into the middle. Pavlich has had a couple of chances, done pretty well in close. So half-time here at Subiaco at Patersons Stadium. It's 27-38 on Friday Night Footy.
I've canvassed a few. Start of the second half, then 11 points the difference. Carlton wanting the first goal. Fremantle wanting some straight kicking. After the bounce, Armfield applies a tackle. Murphy comes up with the football. Sandwiched between the pair is Griffin. And the umpire will do it again.
This thing of Crowley staying in the middle when Judd is up forward out of the midfield, he's going to wear him out, you'd think, as the game goes on.
Hill, high ball, very high ball, down towards the attacking 50. Anthony was pushed in the back. That was careless.
Advantage.
Oh, Pavlich took the advantage. Now it's not an advantage.
Mark's here.
Fair enough. Anthony's got the footy, wants to lay it off. Not sure what he wants to do. Like a windy road in San Francisco. Opportunity in there for Simpson. On his knees, Pavlich. Sometimes third terms do start like this. Well done by Cruiser. Gave it to Betts. Sold a teammate Murphy into trouble. Betts a chance to make amends to Armfield. Now he's away again. Chaos could lead to something. 2-on-2 down the ground. Goes inside the 50. Well gathered by Garlop. Kicks from the 50. It's going beautifully. Oh, well, blunder, goal.
Yeah, good finish after those blunders. Jack Anthony at half forward. Just what's going on?
That is career threatening, I think. I think the coach, just imagine what he's saying. I mean, it's the sort of thing I reckon that goes against your name in a footy club, and sometimes it doesn't go away. Tom will know. They will ask Tom. He was a captain. He probably sat in judgment on a lot of other players.
Just ultimately turnover here for Carlton. And this is the thing when you've got Chris Judd starting in the forward line, then pushing into the midfield, Crowley going from the midfield to Judd. All of a sudden, Carlton have a free player around the ball, and they used it on that occasion to get the turnover and ultimately get on the scoreboard.
So Garlop becomes the first multiple goal scorer tonight. Fife digs it out. Terrific smother by Cruiser. McPhee, not a good handball. Put Mzungu under pressure. A bit wobbly now, the Dockers. Hill getting it and standing up brilliantly to Griffin. Griffin gets rid of one, back to Mzungu. They're on the back foot, literally, though. Carlton squeezing. Good to see Hill. Third disposal in this term. Duffield very good in the first half with 17 kicks out wide to Pavlich. That ball not bouncing well for Pav tonight. Anthony, well, that's awful.
Got to be a free kick, doesn't it? Gee. I think that was the frustration from making the error prior to that Carlton goal, but you've got to get your composure back.
We had a really ordinary first half last week as well, but then came alive and kicked a couple of goals, and it was Subin who actually got subbed for Neil. I'd be looking to bring Neil into the game now to provide a bit of a spark around the midfield.
I feel like we're on Jack's back at the moment, but he's inviting us, I think.
Yeah, it's broad. We'll have a bounce on the outer side. No, you're right. That was strange. And it was frustration, I'm sure, but can't do it.
Let him stand up. Ryan, let him stand up.
Ruckman tangle on the way down. Cruiser got a hand to it. Taken by Pearce. Claimed by Armfield. Murphy at close quarters missed the target. Well done, Main. Down goes Pearce. Wedge between he and Murphy, and the umpire will ball it up.
That's crazy.
A few players missing tonight for Carlton. Chris Yarran just looking on. Saw himself, I think, on the giant screen. Maybe. Comes across to Mzungu. Griffin. Punched by Fife. Well, he opted to take it, did Simpson. Made it hard for himself. Over the football is Betts. Back to Simpson. Head down. Tries to ram his way through. In the opposite direction, De Boer. Rolls to Betts. Well done, Betts. To Cruiser. Simpson. Now Fremantle need to be careful here. Carlton with the runners down the ground. Scotland puts it out in front of a speedster Walker. Walker pursued by Johnson. He backs off a would-be tackler. Back towards the middle, so at least for the moment the danger is past. Gibbs has got it.
Geez, so quick, Walker, isn't he? I mean, Johnson was fully wound up there. So Gibbs just buying some time. Now coming off the interchange, Robinson, so Gibbs goes to him.
Oh, right there, Paul.
Well, that's what they've done so well, the Dockers. They've really been able to hem Carlton in these kind of plays.
Jamison's kick gets all the way to Henderson. Now Henderson comes towards the middle. Jamison with the bounce. Ballantyne tries to chase. Good kick by Jamison to Waite. Then Waite quickly on to Judd.
They have hemmed them in, Lee, but they have. Carlton now have been really patient the way they've used the ball. They've transferred play and got it back on their terms.
Judd pops it up. Hampson held on to free kick.
Holding his arm, Sean Hampson. Clear hold, Zach. Yeah, Sean. Mark's here. That's your line.
Outsizing them a bit, aren't they? They're just a bit. Hampson's a bit big for Dawson.
Just the grab of the arm, pretty clear when the umpire sees that.
Well, he's 8 goals won this year, Hampson, from his goal-scoring opportunities. This would be something from here. And that's not going to be a score. Cruiser at the back. Oh, that ball was lurking for Garlett. And they're behind. Well, Dockers need the next goal. They are only 3 goals behind, but it feels a bit more right now.
Mzungu on the outer side then. Little chip, not 15. Pearce back to Mzungu. Mzungu kicks short of the wing, out of bounds on the full. So just for the moment, we're looking a little bit uncertain. Even they're good players, Fremantle. Mzungu has done pretty well tonight. Pavlich taking a break. Jamison, a couple of very good kicks moments ago, bringing it out. Low and hard, finding a teammate. Kicks inside the forward 50. Where's the size? It came from the back. Griffin. Robinson kicks a goal. Oh, that is beautiful. That is the art of crumbing. He arrived at full pace. Try and stop him at your peril. Took it cleanly and then finished. That is classical stuff. Gets a bit of a knock for wasting the footy sometimes. He certainly didn't waste that opportunity. And now Ross Lyon knows there's trouble ahead. They really need to settle here. The margin is out to 24 points. And in the context of this game, 8 goals to 3. 4 goals is a lot.
A lot of bodies on the end of this pack. Let's see Robinson slightly. The ball fell for him. Don't know whether he read it or he was just in the right spot. The ball can fall anywhere from those contests.
But as Dennis said, he was moving hard and forward and you couldn't get hold of him. So 4-goal margin. They kicked the last 4. Big flight at the back by Clark. That's a good mark. 6 of the last 7 for the Blues. Ballantyne, well, asked a lot of Fife, but in the end, it came to Anthony. Well, go back and kick a goal. This is where he was when he was bumbling his way through that free kick.
You can go the distance from here, Bruce. It's beautiful conditions out there. The ball will travel. Can kick straight and can kick long.
Look, second half last week he was in a similar position, wasn't he? And then kicked a couple, made a difference.
Made a couple of errors the last 5 minutes. He wouldn't be feeling terribly good about himself. It's just a question whether we can just really suck it in and just concentrate on this moment.
Well, the irony is that they've been terrible with their set shots so far tonight, and this is a tough one. And that's that.
Tough now. That's a really tough one for your confidence. As Lee mentioned upon approach, wouldn't have been feeling the best, and that was probably the worst result you could get.
And the runner was out to him.
Yeah, so
immediately after he kicked it, I think he's coming off.
Lockyville's warming up the sub. I don't think he's coming on just yet, but Jack Anthony's certainly coming off.
Kick towards the outer side. hit Henderson, I think, on the head, close to the boundary line, paddled across by Pearce. So I wonder, had he kicked that, does the runner do a Yui or what?
I think the trend is these days, Den, that you kick a goal and you come off. Again, I didn't experience that very much either.
I didn't say that, Tom. I knew that was the case. But if he's coming off to be subbed, we haven't ruled that out, have we?
No.
Tui, Murphy, Mundy, nicely done. Broughton inside the 50, will sort of, it ricochets back out. Judd over the football. Mundy left it behind. Judd tried to soccer it. Well done by Barlow. Russell loaded Judd to Gibbs. Just seems for the moment they've got all the answers, Carlton. On the wing. Opportunity out there for Curnow. Tried to knock it forward. Oh, that was clever. I'm sure he spotted Thornton, but the kick was a bit heavy and raced away from him.
They just look more able to run the footy when they get a bit of time and space, and that started to happen the last 5 minutes, that ability to link up and run the ball through the middle of the ground. Carlton have a greater ability to do that than the Dockers.
Oh.
Griffin wins the tap, two-hander. Robinson got it forward, and then Judd and Cruz had a funny old kick. Barlow, McPhee gets a free kick for a high one.
It's not against you, mate. Play on. It's against your team, mate.
I heard the umpire, McFarlane. So Main up the ground. This has got to be precise. Can he turn the man, Pavlich? He can't. The other problem now for Fremantle too is that the game has to open up a bit. They've got to score, don't they?
For them to be able to score, yeah. That's it.
So Neil is about to come on the sub. And is it Anthony? Yes, Anthony has been subbed. So Lockie Neal to come on as he did last week. He came on for Subin, I think. Tim, you're right down there. I mean, no surprise, I guess.
No surprise at all. He's a disconsolate-looking figure now, Jack Anthony. He's had a terrible 10 minutes this quarter.
So Simpson just runs through a couple brilliantly to Thornton. Walker's running hard outside. Thornton's kick's a good one. Curnow, Simpson running hard to Walker.
Oh.
This is set up for him. Dashing forward. That's a brilliant team goal.
What about the timing of the release of the hand pass to Walker? Simpson just drew the defender in. Had an option of two outside, but just the timing was impeccable. And as a result, well called by Bruce, just terrific. Walker was on his way and got the goal. So it's all coming unglued. The margin 5 straight now.
A lot of Blues jumpers getting into this part of the ground. You see them run forward out of that stoppage. That's what they got the capabilities of doing. And Walker, first game for the year back from injury, was the finisher.
57 plays 27. Clark taken front on by Armfield. Barlow dragged down by Robinson. Gets through a lot of hard work in there, does Robinson. Jack Anthony, well, just one of those nights. Tough weekend coming up. Well done by the young man that's on the ground, Neal. Tackled by Armfield. Eventually comes the Dockers' way. Left behind by McPhee. Swooping on the loose ball. Walker. Suddenly the Dockers look very uncertain. Kick inside the forward 50. Down there is McFarlane. Falls behind to Thornton. Garlick goes with the outside of the boot. You can see what he was thinking, but he misses to the near side.
Just need a calming influence now, Fremantle. Here's the Walker pick up before. He's been really good straight back in. He's had great leg speed. He's kicked well. He's obviously flying for his marks. It's been a real positive for Carlton. But I think Carlton's ball use, I mean, the turnover from the last goal, it was a kick from Main, just hit the deck in front of Pavlich. Just been cleaner with their ball use through the middle on the spread, the Blues.
Dockers haven't scored for 20 minutes now. It's 4 goals, 3 in that time for the Blues. So Duffield just to a pack almost. Clark and Hampson, and then belted forward by Joseph. Mzungu coming in with weight and the boundary throw in. So suddenly a match was tight till half-time. That turnover goal to Simpson gave them some breathing space. Wade almost put them 3 goals in front at half-time, but the gap has grown so quickly. Yeah, one grabbing at the moment, Carlton, and fumbling are the Dockers. Main, okay. Neal to Hill. You want the ball in his hand. Brilliantly done by Hill. Weaving his way through to Pavlich. Pavlich waiting and waiting. Now he's asked a lot of Hill here. He's kicked it up. Has Hill got the energy to chase it down? Scotland, the oldest man out there at 31, gets it to Henderson. Well done, Pearce. Wrapped him up. That might be a lift.
Well done, Stephen Hill. Yeah, he ran 150 metres at basically as fast as he could. That was extraordinary, and then came back for the second effort. Didn't affect the tackle, but put the pressure on. It was great work.
Hampson wins the boundary throw in down. Pearce falling to the ground. Pavlich is over it. Digs it out. All Carlton around the ball though. Simpson, Gibbs, Jamison. Jamison's kicking has been very good out of defence tonight. Russell goes up towards the wing. Well, the last thing Freo can do here is concede another goal. Betts has got it. Right half back. Doesn't mean anyone's got to do anything. The umpire gets all revved up, but stand there as long as you like. On the outer side, Curnow, Thornton missed the target. Dawson's over the football. Mundy, Searing kick down towards half foot again. That awkward half volley for Pavlich. Things haven't gone his way tonight. Henderson rolling with the football. Comes back to Broughton. Gave it across to Neal. Running into a dead end is Fife. Down he goes. Whistle and the ball up.
You mentioned before, Tom, how hard Hill ran. At the moment, Hill looks like the spreader for the Dockers, but Carlton got half a dozen of them. That looks the difference in the teams at the moment.
On a hot night, and the faster the game, you feel the better for the Blues. Barlow off a step, but cut off easily by Tui. And then Tui, such a good kick, Tui. We've talked a lot about that. To Scotland now, Simpson. He's good at evading and avoiding, did well. Back to Scotland off a step, caught underneath McPhee, made a contest, and then Dawson does the defensive thing.
It's been an energy thing. I think the Blues have just picked up that. Every time we go to a shot on screen, it seems to be 3 to 4 in Carlton's favour. There's just intensity around the footy is greater than Fremantle's at the moment.
58 plays 27, midway through the term. Murphy down in front, tackled by Barlow. Front on comes Pearce. Umpire calls for it. Margin was 11 points at half-time. So in this term, Fremantle have not scored. Clark's up in front, directs it down to Fife. Bit of a fumble. Robinson, no such fumble. Drives it back inside the forward 50. Working back is Hampson. This is a dangerous spot. Everton dragged down. McPhee under pressure. Beats one, beats two. Nicely done. McPhee comes away and kicked it into the oncoming Hampson. Found out there by Tui. Down went Hill. He was hit by a foreign object, as they say in the WWE. Tui. So a ball up just outside the 50. Not the best bounce. They had a long run, the two ruckmen.
Cruiser getting a second effort. Toe poking to Judd. Judd wheels it for Jim Walker. Quick hands with the throw. It was. 25 degrees, we've just been told, so still 25 here tonight.
There's a throw there, little flick pass, rugby league style.
So the Dockers are just stuck on 3 goals 9. It's been played in Carlton's terms at the moment. Freo unable to penetrate. 2-on-1 again. Clark was the one. Gibbs, well done, Fife, and then the handball under pressure, the boundary throw in. Big test for this young team. Gee, Judd testing at the shoulder.
That's the first time I reckon I've seen a Carlton player test out Nate Fife's shoulder.
Clark at the back, Cruiser in the front. Well done by Murphy. And then Jamison, well done. Gee, hasn't Robinson been combative in this quarter? Belting the ball forward. Hampson chasing Dawson. Dawson back to Johnson. Johnson to McFarlane. McFarlane's high ball. Hill. Oh, good mark. Geez, in good form. He struggled in the first half last week and then was brilliant. And everything he's done tonight has been excellent. Lots of effort. Pierce. That's smothered by Cruiser. Dennis talked about, I mean, Cruiser just knows one way. He plays every ball on its merits. Yep. And that was another good example of that.
It's also a good example of just, I think, the difference between the two sides fundamentally tonight. I don't think the Carlton player would have made that same mistake kicking into the man on the mark.
Mundy, Barlow, back to Mundy. On the wing, goes towards half forward, finds De Boer. Now they're in. Here's a chance. Griffin, nobody up ahead. Jamison, well, he's got a good start. He leads by about 20 metres. Gathers the footy in and just pops it outside the 50 to Gibbs. Looks back to the corridor. Russell has got it now. And Fremantle remain becalmed. Murphy finds Scotland. Scotland, that's a dangerous hand pass. Simpson does okay. Scotland, they need to be careful here. Well, they worked it okay. Scotland, penetrating kick. Hampson carried under the ball, could almost got a free. McFarlane waiting behind did well, showed the judgment, drives it to the outer side. Johnson, but the movement is sluggish at best across the ground. Nothing on offer. Main might be the pick of them. If Main can get to this contest, well, he couldn't. Didn't fly at least. Gibbs, tackled by Main. Coming through and doing nicely. Neal sweeps it forward, in trouble. Griffin, he took on the second tackler. He's gone. Saw that with Judd earlier.
Been a bit stiff, but I mean, nothing against Griffin, but he's been the man that's had the ball probably at the wrong time, to be truthful. Doesn't have that finesse, obviously. He's there to bash and crash in the ruck and try and tap the ball to the fleet footers. So Garlett out wide. Fremantle's
forwards are getting up into the middle of the ground to just make it a little bit harder for Carlton, but so often there's just no one forward to go to, and play upfield for the Dockers is often pinned with the footy.
Johnson did well. He just worked Hampson under. Dawson, clever enough. There's Griffin working at both ends. McFarlane and Mzungu caught underneath. Got rid of Garlett. There's one. If the ball gone over the back and Hill was onto it, you'd give them a chance. But I just wonder where they're going to score at the moment, the Dockers. How they're going to score.
Well, particularly now they are pushing their forwards right up. They've just got no one to go to, as you mentioned before.
Well, the one thing they have done, Tom, is stop Carlton scoring for the last few minutes. They've been able to hold them to 9 goals, but they haven't been able to have any inroads. Tui's long ball. Ibbotson takes the mark. Carlton will be happy. I mean, they don't have to score at the moment.
Isn't it funny, though, because Fremantle got 7 behinds in that second term, along with their 2 goals, so they had plenty of shots. Now they just can't buy one. Here's Hampson. Nice grab. The size has tested them. Talking about Fremantle being tested. There's Johnson, no test there. Easy mark. Goes back to McFarlane. Could they build from the back this time? Mzungu looks towards the outer side. Pavlich takes a good mark. Quality opposition. Gibbs intent on punching away. No impression. So Pavlich goes behind McFarlane. 2 of the veterans combining right there. McFarlane goes for distance. Fife got some separation. Well done. Deceptively quick. He just pulled away from Tui there. Low one. That's a lovely kick. Quality. Comes in. Clark's got it. 65 metres out. On the lead. Ballantyne leads back in the race. Stayed on his feet. Ballantyne, a bit of a fumble. It stayed in. Bad luck for him. Simpson to Henderson. Beats a despairing Ballantyne. Goes short. Awkward half volley. Gathered by Walker. Blistering speed. Comes away. And a beautiful finish too. Finds Cruiser, who thought about bets. Fremantle flooding back, but it's about even in numbers. They might have 1 extra. Short one comes to Thornton.
Worked well, the Blues. See Walker's play a moment ago. He's a gifted player, got the ball down low and created. Here he is again.
Looks fresh and quick tonight, doesn't he?
Yeah, Lee's been a good comeback. I mean, he hasn't played all year. Such an important player last year when Carlton really pushed up hard. And Griffin decides not to mark and belts the ball over. Down to you, Tim.
Carlton have been fantastic with ball in hand this quarter. They're operating at the moment 85% efficiency, or 83% now. Fremantle to 65. So Fremantle just haven't been able to retain those possessions that they've been able to win this 3rd quarter.
Saw a former East Fremantle player, Kane Lucas, down on the boundary. Anxious to get out there, and he can kick a goal too. Simpson unloads the long one, 2-on-1, and the 2 prevail. They double team White. McFarlane, who's had the ball a fair bit in the last few minutes. That was a strong mark. That's his forte, not 15. Umpire can measure that against the backdrop of the goals, and that's a terrible kick by Duffield. Missed by Tui. Tui in the grasp, went to ground. Garlett measures the kick. Well, too far as it turned out. Off hands, live ball. White kicked it into Judd. Johnson, Barlow, and now Mzungu.
That might have been the ball game, but they got off the hook for the moment, the Dockers. Ibbotson Back to Mzungu. Where does he go now? There are a lot of light blue Guernseys out there at the moment. Pavlich was very good. He made the contest in the end. Now that ball trapped in by Griffin and hasn't come out. Now it does. Pavlich has hurt himself and it'll be a ball up. Picks himself up now. Which is a good contest. Gee, how did that happen? Weight down low and just pushing the ball into Judge Burton. And came off for the Docker, about the only lucky break they've had for a while. Mundy, Crowley, Mzungu, short to De Boer.
Need to take risk here, Freo. Need to play the corridor, not get sucked into going to the boundary, because Carlton have got the extra number back and they can just force them wide all day.
Well, here's a risk. I mean, that was a risky kick. Now, this
Much
one
better.
here, Pearce, he's got the right going. It's Hill. Armfield to run with him. Now he's a left footer. Armfield doesn't quite get him, but he brought him down well enough. Good contest. Scotland, not Scotland, rather Garland. McPhee inside to Barlow to Mundy, and Mundy goes and doesn't quite cut off by Henderson.
Yeah, well done.
Gee, that would have given them a lift.
There are three quicker blokes in Armfield, Garlett and Hill running at the footy at the same time.
They're quick.
Jeez, they're quick. And McPhee got it.
See, the wily
Did he go
veteran.
out?
The wily veteran. Mind you, I think he was the fourth mouse getting the cheese. The other three up and ran it. They were battling for traction. There's Henderson as they run down the clock, just over 2 minutes before three-quarter time. Carlton, no need to hurry. Murphy has built those stats over the night. He's got 19 now, and that's a terrific mark by Simpson.
He's been good, Simpson. I
Hasn't
mean,
he?
he's always the extra runner that just supplements Judd Murphy, but he's the one that's probably licked him up better than either of those two tonight.
He's on 26 possessions as he sends the ball high towards the wing. Bit of a fumble from Dawson, taken down by Waite, who seemed to relish that. Ball up. A minute 33 remaining in this term.
Dockers haven't scored. Now, last time they had a scoreless quarter was 2009 at Adelaide, when they only scored 2 goals for the match. So Ross Lyon's going to talk to Tim after three-quarter time. He's not going to be happy. And yet 2 goals would make a massive difference if they could just squeeze. Well, 2's asking too much right now, but squeeze 1 out would give them some hope. But if it goes the other way, well, it might be curtains, and it might go the other way. Betts running hard. McPhee in the right spot. Ibbotson. Johnson off a step. Good kick to Broughton. It has been a while since Carlton have goaled. That's the only thing positive you can say about the Dockers at the moment. Dawson's kick out wide. Short. It's been 16 minutes since a Carlton goal. So Duffield stretches. Little kick forward. Pavlich. It's had some bad bounces in the middle. It's a little one by May. Now can Clark get onto it? This will be an important bounce with Clark. He's got a short on. Goes for goal. He's got it. They're not that far away now. 1 goal makes a big difference, doesn't it?
It was one of those few occasions where the Dogs have been able to get someone running onto it. I mean, Hill's tried to do that a few times. But Clark, he is quick for a big fella, and he just had a little bit more speed than Henderson to be able to run onto that ball over the top. But again, they came through the middle of the ground. That's something that the Dockers haven't been able to do that often. They've been forced wide, and the Carlton defence couldn't quite get set against it. So that's a nice real team goal off half-back, and a really good finish from Clark. Shows his athleticism.
When you play widely, you've got the spare man like Gibbs. He knows where the ball's going, so he can predict exactly where he's going. If you bring it through the corridor, he's got to make a decision and cover more ground. Much better way to attack the goals.
25 points the difference, 39 seconds to play in this third term. Judd knocks it out. Barlow, Fife in trouble, taken down by Scotland. And a ball up. Clock stops. 26 seconds. Plenty of advice for the umpy there. Umpire Margetts puts it down. Griffin to the advantage of De Boer. Goes back to Mundy. Just for the moment, signs are better. I know they kicked the goal, but they're moving the ball a little better. Bit of spring in their step, and that's 50. Oh, Robbo. What was he thinking? I wonder what Brett Ratton's thinking now.
Yeah, just a bit over aggressive on the mark.
So, Zach Dawson with the man on the mark. 40 metres out. Distance won't be a problem. Dawson comes in. It's swinging a long way, and he's missed. Siren. Oh, can you imagine this place had he kicked it? It would have been going off. And as it is, a collective sigh goes around Patersons Stadium. And the fans, I think, here barracking for Fremantle, fearing the worst. Friday night football, Carlton 9-4 on top of Fremantle 4-10. Provided, of course, they can hang on from here. When I say hang on, they're up by 24.
They pushed McFarlane into the forward line to try and get just an extra getter in that part of the ground.
Knocked down by Hampson. Judd comes up, wins a clean ball, gets it across to Robinson. Robinson, a searching kick inside the forward 50. Back goes Mundy. Closing on him was Russell. Coming across their bow was Ibbotson. Well done by Cruiser. Walker found space where there was none. This would be, I was going to say, a heck of a goal. Well, not even close. Hacked out of there by McPhee. Comes back from Barlow to Ibbotson. In the defensive goal square. Well done, Robinson. Just stepped around Pearce. Wanted front position and took the mark.
He's just got the impression that Pearce knew that there was a Carlton player behind him, and he just look for him. And by that stage, Robinson had attacked the footy in the air.
I suppose the Dockers could do with a bit of luck in terms of they've missed a lot of shots at goal tonight. But footy's not meant to be fair. Robinson comes in. Kick is on the way. Looks pretty good. It's working back. He's got the goal. Ouch. He's got two.
I reckon he's putting himself into the chance to be the man of the match, Robinson. His second half has been really impressive.
That's characteristic of his football there, though, isn't it, Bruce? I mean, he just wants front position. He's behind the other bloke, and he goes to the ball. He's attracted to the ball like few players in the league. I mean, certainly doesn't have a lot of finesse, but you've got to admire the way he plays. Love it.
Bullet at the gate, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He is.
The goal by Mitch Robinson. Fremantle's skill level has really let them down today. 8 of Carlton's 10 goals have come directly from a turnover. And we heard Ross Lyon at three-quarter time thinking that was one of the areas he wanted to address. Not a good start.
So they won the first clearance tonight with the Blues in this last quarter. Murphy got down low. Ball still not quite out. Judd was the one that won that clearance, and now pushing hard and forward. It didn't go down. It was well played. Barlow from Mundy. So Mundy must be across half-back, I reckon, in this last term. Ibbotson out wide. Neil. Well, Joseph just had the drop. It was a hard handball. Pavlich went without it. Back to Henderson. Sweeps it out wide to Simpson. Carlton certainly in control with this 5-goal lead. Judd's worked forward. He's held on to surely. That's been the Bermuda Triangle for Pearce out there the last minute, hasn't it? It's been an awful position.
As you mentioned, Bruce, Mundy's playing out of defence. McFarlane's gone into the forward line, but I guess that makes them, that's one of their good midfielders out of the middle of the ground and one of their good defenders out of defence. So both those areas, all of a sudden, the Dockers have looked a little shaky.
That's just a nervous young player playing on an absolute champion player, and Chris Judd just hang on for dear life, gave away the free kick.
Well, he stood the mark a moment ago, and the ball was kicked over his head for a goal. And Judd has just pushed it across the face. So, not sure if it's a let-off or not. I mean, the margin is just so wide now. Let's see if the Dockers can dig into this lead a bit and do some of the things that the coach told Tim about at three-quarter time.
So Mundy outside the defensive 50, well and truly. White, the 230s in mid-air there. White and Clark. It falls behind them. Fife just trying to get some distance on that. And Armfield slaps it across the boundary line. Deliberate, says the umpire. So Hill, certainly not the worst of the Dockers. Hard against the boundary. Kicks long. Hampson was up. Henderson behind. Well done by Hampson. Into the path of Betts. He's away. And that speed we often see. Pronounced now. He goes wide. Simpson's got it. Going very deep is White. Too far for Simpson to kick, I fancy. He thought that way, so he's gone to Gibbs, but it's made things a little bit tough out there. Although Scotland does well. Feeds it back to Simpson. Spins around. Curnow. They're just playing with Fremantle at the moment. Jamison. Henderson. Murphy. Tui is on for the short one. He'll get it now. Now he's a pretty long kick. Spots a man on the move, goes down towards Walker, but wide of the mark. And Walker takes it on the first bounce, but across the line.
It's been terrific, Walker. Just that, even at the start of this last quarter, that pace created some nervousness for the Dockers, and then it resulted in that Robinson goal about a half a minute later. Tui just brought down in the tackle. Mzungu started really well tonight, and then kicks into Armfield's back. It's just been one of those nights. Murphy, Main, Curnow, Mzungu, good tackle. Murphy in there. Dygan tried to force his way through with some strength. Well done in the end. Betts, just so confident, the Blues. And then Betts on his left side to Gibbs, who so often does that. And again, they spread. They've done it a lot. They love the short passing. They do it well. Tim talked about their kicking efficiency. And here's Scotland kicking to centre-half forward. Wait, couldn't quite. McPhee. Now, can the Dockers score a goal from here? They need to.
Here's Main. Goes back to McPhee towards half forward. Henderson, who's been reliable. McFarlane appears to have gone forward. You might have mentioned that, Bruce. I might have missed it, but he's on the forward line. I thought I heard you. Gibbs goes back. Scotland, Curnow, deep back inside the 50. Robinson. He's played a really good game, Robinson. One of the figures show he's up to 19 now. Tui goes looking for Murphy. Here's a chance for the Dockers. Duffield into the path of Ballantyne. Now he spilt the mark. Interesting by a couple of Blues there, coming through his Hill again. Run his heart out tonight. Gibbs hard against the boundary line, hooks it back. There's a group of Blues. Robinson a little less than committed. Easy for me to say. Wearing makeup up here. The hand pass from Jamison. Now it's with Cruiser. That's better. Cruiser to Jamison. Jamison short on the half volley, taken by Walker. Walker goes inside the forward 50. These half volleys making it hard for player after player. Hanson got the arms free. Goes to Waite. Waite the long ball down towards full forward. Garlett not strong enough. He tried to move Broughton. Broughton would not be moved.
It's a good mark, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Gee, that handball by Cruz in the middle of the ground really opened it up. Kick out wide to Pavlich. De Boer was on his own in the centre a moment ago, but the moment's gone.
That thought Ross Lyon talked about with Tim after the three-quarter of taking the game on, playing the ball on quickly. That's not happening. Might have been instructions, but it's just not happening for the Dockers.
Clark made the contest. De Boer back. Well done, Crowley, that time. De Boer back to Mundy. Now, Mundy's got Pavlich short for the handball. Not sure why he didn't go that way. Goes across the ground to Ibbotson. Simpson on the mark. Pavlich again on his own. Well, now it's gone. Now he'll go to Pavlich. Good kick finds him. Now he's got Lockie Neal on his own. Pavlich, he took a while to get it there. And he's been forced wide in the end. Percentages are low. I'm not sure if Neal's a better chance from here than Pavlich was from where he was.
Okay.
You always think he's got a 55-metre kick on him, Pavlich, from straight in front, but this is a fairly acute angle.
Lucas is getting a run now. He's come on the sub. I think Tui's the man off for the Blues. Gee, he looks like he's from that band that was in Melbourne.
He's definitely from One Direction, no doubt about it.
Neal's kick, and it's a behind. It's a baby face, isn't it?
It certainly is. He was good. He was actually really good last week, Lockie Neal, when he came on, provided some real energy, thrown into the cauldron, I guess, with Jack Anthony coming off.
There's Kane Lucas.
Improving. And Kane Lucas has been a very good sub for Carlton also this year.
It's in his contract. He comes on and immediately kicks a goal. We'll see if it works out tonight. Gibbs to himself. Drives it outside the 50. Wide of the pack. Barlow in trouble. Dawson flicks it over the top to Broughton. Broughton's high ball. They'll compete about 30 metres out. Fisted away by Henderson. He's growing in stature, Henderson. Now a chance for Ballantyne. Net front on there by Russell, and that ball very slow to release. Russell comes rolling out with the football. Hand passes as far as Griffin. In goes Ballantyne. Henderson meets Barlow head on. Ballantyne's over the ball, and a ball up.
Just a question for you, Lee, about Lockie Henderson. Did you envisage him developing into a key position defender?
Well, there's a lot of plays. Played all his junior footy pretty much as a running centre forward, but a lot of the forwards, as kids that didn't really make it early in their senior careers, go to defence and do really well, and I think he's a pretty good example of that.
Cruiser's good smother a moment ago. You invested heavily, Lee. I think he's number 8 in the draft,
he was
wasn't he?
pick 8 in the draft for the Brisbane Lions a few years back, and he has his last half season and early this season, he's been really solid back there.
Well, it was the big talking about the Blues, wasn't it? Their defence over the last few years.
The extra big defender.
Ballantyne through. That's a lovely kick by Ballantyne. So McFarlane shifted forward. He's played a lot forward over the stretch, McFarlane. It's only really in the last few years he's become a devoted defender. He's kicked 113 goals in his 193 games, so he can dob one, but no trouble with the angle. He's a fair way out, 52 metres out. Has it got the legs? Well, it's not straight. They have been woeful from the set tonight, and it really has cost them dearly. That second quarter, 2 goals, 7. Just a frustrating night for the coach. They're big opportunity to get into the top 4 tonight, and it's not going to happen.
It's been a really good response by Carlton. Flat last week against Essendon. A lot of people perhaps suggesting that the footy world was getting carried away with the performance of Carlton, but this is a good win. This is a fantastic win against Fremantle in Perth.
There's a lot of blokes out too. Blokes that are pretty important to them.
Yep.
At full strength, they will be hard to toss this year. Thornton goes back a long way, having to wait Henderson. Well, that was cool. We talked about his progress. That was very cool. Man bearing down. Not only did he not flinch, here's 50, but had the wherewithal to find a teammate.
They have this program at the AFL, the AFL-AS Academy, and part of the program is that you spend
Just
a
ran
week
straight
with the
through the
club.
mark. Time back on.
And I remember Lockie Henderson coming to Geelong, and he was just a really personable guy. He had a great appetite for work.
Oh,
Should have been free to the
Walker
Dockers.
again.
And worked his career out. He's been fantastic. Jeez, he can jump.
Yeah, he's a dynamic player, isn't he? Taken 2 in the draft, Walker. Dennis said had a spectacular debut. Well, it was in the doldrums with injuries and lack of form for a year or two, but he looks a lethal weapon tonight, doesn't he? Lucas getting involved, Pearce to Barlow, building the ball out.
It was in the off-season before last. There was talk of him being traded.
Yep. I think South Australia were pretty keen.
He just sets that forward line up beautifully, doesn't he, with Garlett and Betts, because he can do both. He can run quick and he can take a spectacular mark.
And Dennis, you throw weight in. It's a very attractive forward line, isn't it?
Yep.
Johnson to McPhee. And McPhee, nice kick to Neal. So Lockie Neal wants David Mundy and gets him nice kick. So Mundy at half back. And then down the line, marked by McFarlane, but they're a long way from goal.
McFarlane jabs it forward, stretching. Main takes the mark. So there's still plenty of time. I mean, a couple of quick goals and there'll be a flicker again, but they just don't look likely. Here's Fife coming up for his 19th.
Need to go forward, Dennis, with some real pizzazz, if you like, some speed. Just take the ball on, tuck it under your arm, go for a bit of a run.
So that's tailor-made for Henderson. Harley, Neyman. There's Dygan on the outer side. Kicks into an oncoming player. Dygan goes back after it. He spent quite a bit of time on the bench tonight, Nick Dygan. Being eased back into the competition. Lucas trying to find a way through. Punched high in the air out there. Well, grafting football at best. Now Betts, Robinson. Well, that was a late decision. It came off, though. Running through the middle is Murphy. Gets onto this one, but drifting back safely into the arms of Ibbotson.
Well, drop it in the middle.
So Ibbotson now goes out wide. He had Mzungu shorter. Duffield had a very good opening half. Kicks the ball to Barlow. Can they break the line here? How quickly can they move the ball? Again, slow motion. Barlow, and again he'll go out wide, and Pavlich will have to take a good mark. Thornton just feeds off him. How many times has that happened tonight? Usually it's been Henderson and short to Scotland.
We're talking about Frio's lack of, I guess, energy bringing the ball forward, but you've got to commend Carlton on the way they're setting up defensively. The Fremantle players look up and see nothing but light blue jumpers.
Curno's kick a bit sloppy. Waite just manhandles Dawson and gets him out of the way. And then Judd manhandled himself. Crowley gets it to Johnson, to Mzungu. Mzungu worked it well to Barlow. Barlow kicks into the centre. Griffin takes the mark.
Plays on to Neil. You can see not much up ahead, so Neil goes across the ground. Finds Pavlich. Pavlich to Mzungu. That is very short. Play on was the call. Mundy grabs it, runs to 50. Mundy, long kick, and it's wide of the mark.
Hasn't that been typical of the Dockers night? Long shot at goal, it just goes the wrong side of the post. They had their chance in the second quarter, but just kicked inaccurately. That's really been the difference in the game.
Yeah.
It's 4-13 to 10-5. I mean, it's just a matter of one side has taken their chances.
Simpson has been terrific. He's up to 31 possessions. That doesn't count as one after the behind. He went short. Joseph comes back to Gibbs. I always feel Gibbs is a bit of a luxury. He's too good a player to often do what he gets to do, but they've got plenty of good players. From behind, Cruiser almost. It falls to McPhee. McPhee short. Barlow can turn around and head for home, and this one's off target. It's amazing.
Can you believe it? To the now the left is the City end.
City end. Yeah.
They've kicked 2 goals 11 to that end tonight.
Yeah.
And you know most of them have been pretty easy.
Very gettable, haven't they? I mean, that was relatively unpressured from 45 metres.
Couldn't ask for better conditions. It's like playing under the roof that Etihad right here at the moment. The air's still, the ball will travel. They've just had an off night.
So big fly that time from Henderson. Russell, Judd boundary thrown. Of course, the home team last week kicked 5 goals 21. West Coast against Hawthorn, but that was a dirty night weather-wise, wasn't it? And it was that sort of night, 5-21 to 5-16, and in the end, 5 points turned into 4 for them. But tonight, it's costly. Ibbotson taking Garland on and driving the ball back in. Can Pavlich get to it? Bouncing ball. At the back, it's Joseph, and he just allows the ball to run out of play. So nothing much has gone right for the Dockers tonight. They've been a bit of a one-trick pony tonight, haven't they?
Yep. Griffin in front, Cruiser behind, Murphy, Curnow, out wide, Scotland, that's solidly by that tank of a man. Clancy Pearce, the kick around the corner from Mundy, missed by Griffin, battled on though, comes to Pavlich, and Pavlich kicks a goal. One would assume too little too late. Good effort.
Yeah, it's just very difficult. I mean, it's not a massive margin. I mean, there is time. I mean, this next centre break, if the Dockers could get it and kick a goal, then the crowd get involved. But they certainly need a goal in the next 2 minutes, you would think. Just think back, though. If a couple of those shots at goal gone through, then things might have been a bit different.
That shot just before half-time too, Bruce, remember? That was a big one.
So that blue outfit, Any hope here, Lee and Tom? I mean, one centre clearance, one goal.
Yes, they need to actually clear it from this, get a goal within the next minute or so, really. Then it's bound to 15 points, anything can happen. So the margin is still gettable.
Judd's been good in the last quarter. 38,800, the official attendance, so close to a full house. Pearce goes back. And then the quick kick forward coming from Ibbotson. Lucas, well done, just broke the tackle. Gibbs, lovely kick in the end to Walker. They're on here. Walker's quick kick forward. Simpson out wide. Scotland got well, in the end it worked for him, the bounce. Back to Dygan, and then Dygan out wide. That's Carlton, isn't it? They just are prepared to go short, use the ball. Now, Thornton is a good kick normally, but you've got to take the mark first. That was quite lazy, actually. Kicks to full forward. Griffin. Hope the Blues don't lose. Thornton won't be happy with that. The ball out wide. Ballantyne. Still Ballantyne. That mind of him working over Todgy. Pavlich should have got a free kick. He does. Now, open goal centre. Why doesn't Pav just go and go bang?
Here goes Stephen Hill.
Well, if it goes bang now, it's all Carlton deep. Yeah.
But it wasn't before.
No, you're right. He could have got a one-on-one if he'd gone deep. This is Neil across the ground. Not real good, although that is terrific mark taken by De Boer. I was thinking that Pav sort of gave it to Neil, and the young man had to make a decision. Now it swings out wide, getting back Mzungu. In his hip pocket is Dygan, and Dygan, as only he can, comes away with a bit of dash. We like him, the mature age footballer. He kicks it up towards the wing. Johnson goes short, and McPhee takes the mark. McPhee to Crowley. Crowley, despite what Gary Ablett had to say, kicks a goal. That'll show him.
Well, I tell you, it'll be a joke if they win. And oh, I know I'm a half-full sort of guy, Dim, but
no, Bruce, it's quite possible.
I just reckon they're half a chance now. I mean, the crowd's involved. It's suddenly going to open up. How do Carlton play? How defensive do Carlton play it from this point on? I mean, do they sit on it? I've been waiting 2 hours to get excited.
Well, Gary Ablett wanted Crowley to go forward, and he did.
I think he checked his Twitter at half-time, no doubt.
What do you think, guys, now?
I mean, it is only 15 points, and there's enough time, just under 5 minutes. So on the Lee Matthews equations, with goals a minute, there's certainly a chance.
So every clearance important. Judd, well done. It's been very good in the centre square. Walker. He's had a terrific comeback game, but that one cut off by Johnson. Now how daring are they? Griffin, can he take the mark? Well spoiled by Scotland. De Boer was held up. Well done, Robinson. Crashed in. Walker so quick across the ground. Boundary throw in. But the force is with the Dockers at the moment. A bit of momentum flowing to the left.
Yeah, old Mo is wearing purple. We've got 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Hampson beaten by Griffin. Armfield over the football, at least initially. Raked back in by De Boer. No one's trying to get it out.
Andrew dragged it into Matthew. Okay.
Ball it up.
Thanks, boss.
Had the last 6 scoring shots, the Dockers, 2 goals for.
I suppose Fremantle, in their aftermatch, will look at this and think, how did we lose it? When they look at the final scoreline, well,
Not 15,
if you've seen the game, it's pretty easy to reconcile how they lost it, but they might still win it. Very confusing, I know. It comes back to McPhee. Gets a hand pass away. Ibbotson. Crowd really roaring now as the kick comes down towards half-forward. Jamison got a timely fist in there and knocked it out of bounds. Every second vital.
All the numbers last week against St Kilda in contested possession, disposals, all of the matters, stats that matter. They lost them also against St Kilda, so they do hang on well. That is a pleasing sign for Ross Lyon.
Gibalo, good to Mzungu. Pavlich caught underneath. No real crummer at the back. Dygan's been very good in a couple of instances in the last quarter to Scotland, to Simpson. And they're going to milk the clock a bit here, the Blues. They are a great kicking team. It'll be hard to get the footy off, though. Simpson decides he'll just go down to Hampson with a long ball. Dawson at the back, Cruiser, Murphy. He's got Walker and Judd. Oh, well done, Dawson. Walker, back to Dawson. Bouncing ball. This is a big play. Pushed out nearly. Had to do that. And the ball comes back. And the mark taken by Griffin to Mzungu. Now, can he kick the ball to somebody who then can attack the goal front? Can the ball come over the back? Jamison. Bit of a shaky handball, to be truthful. Good tackle. Ball coming free. Mundy to Neil to McFarlane. It's a goal. They're very close now. We've got a grandstand finish. Well, Dennis, our wishes come true. Not that the Dockers will win, but
the big finish.
Yeah.
That was terrific. It was just hard work in that pack, wasn't it? Could have gone either way. Fremantle just applied themselves a little better, kept it going their way, and suddenly it broke open. No cover at the back. Okay, so there's 9 points the difference.
Just kept forcing it forward, and I guess what they got now is the home crowd, the bit of energy, and will Carlton just get a little bit panicky because they had this game won and now it's alive again?
Crowd were nodding off, Tim.
Well, Ballantyne's been resting for the last 2.5 minutes, so here's his big chance. He's just been inserted back into the play.
High ball down towards half forward for the Blues. Well done by Garlett. Gave a contest. Judd doesn't mind this situation. Lucas looking for support. Lucas decides he better kick under pressure. Kicks it directly to Ibbotson. Still over 2 minutes to go. Ibbotson across the ground. Grandstand finish coming from the Dockers. Mzungu, who's played a wonderful game, kicks it up towards the wing. Oh, that's a big call. Free kick is going to McFarlane. McFarlane lobs it over the top. Taken out there by Pearce. He wants to go. Pearce down towards the pocket. Pavlich.
Well, come the moment, come the man. Can he go with a long one and kick a goal?
Captain's goal moment is set for this.
Griffin's in there deep, cruises against him, follows all the other Freo players to get out. You reckon he's getting some good advice there?
Kicked a couple of goals against the Cats near the start of the year to help them win the match. I mean, this would be a remarkable goal if it can go all the way. He struck it well. Won't get there quite. Waite punches it forward. Good result for the Blues. 8-point game. Can they create a turnover here, the Dockers? Can they hem it in? How do Carlton play it from the back here? They go short, and that's not what the Dockers wanted. They've got to get a ball. Well, that's so close.
Nerves of steel,
wasn't it?
Whoa, that was inches went.
It was centimetre perfect, Dennis.
He was having a good look, the boundary umpire. He wasn't sure.
There's Dygan. Well, they appear to have it won. Dygan's been handy in this final term. He kicks it along the line, close to the boundary. Came off the boot of the ball, I fancy. Oh, no. So boundary throw in. Gee, we've had a few big games, haven't we? I think after Sunday it'll be 7 in 10 days as well. There's only so much hysteria in the human body. Coming through is Judd. Close to the boundary line. Betts bounced on his head. McPhee. Well done, Betts. Only as far as Dawson. Dawson across towards Johnson. Johnson towards half forward. Needs a contest from the Blues. Plenty of them back. Well done. Waite got it from Gibbs. Well, experience told there. Scotland knew it had to be won that football and won it. Jamison goes short and the mark is taken by Simpson. So gallant as Fremantle have been for the last 20 minutes. They were pretty lousy in the third quarter, and they'll look back and rue that misfortune. See, Bruce, I don't know. They've got the blood rule for players. What about the blood pressure rule for commentators? A lot of football and a great win for Carlton. Handshakes from Crowley and Judd. And I think Crowley had a very good game. Judd finished strong.
Tim, we might go down. Tim, go down to you with Brett Ratten. Tim.
Well, I was just saying to Brett, it got a little bit tight in that last quarter.
Yeah, it did. It was, it was a bit of an arm wrestle all day, and as you can see from the scoring shots, it wasn't a lot from both teams. But at the end of the day, I thought our boys, after a slow start, really got into the game and got going. And I suppose the Fremantle forwards really marked the ball and counter-attacked really well, and we've got a bit of work to do, but great to get the win.
Great to see Andrew Walker back out there tonight too.
I just add so much, and for a bloke to be as clean-winded as him to come up and just play the way he does, he's just a bonus for us.
And defensively, you're very good tonight too for most of the game.
Yeah, we were. Just a bit towards the end, there was a bit of an issue there where they came with a run, but overall, really pleasing.
What about yourself? You're going back?
Minutes, mate, so yeah, no, really good.
When are we expecting this baby? There's been a lot of discussion about this baby.
Yeah, no, we'll just wait and see. Who knows?
Have we got a name ready?
Yeah, we've got a few names. We don't know if it's a boy or a girl, so we'll just wait and see. And hope mum and baby is healthy. That's the main thing.
We wish you all the best.
Good on you, Tim. Thanks, mate.
And your Rats.
Yeah, Joe and Rats. Dr. Watson down there, I presume. But when you think about it, the first 15 minutes tonight was all Dockers, and the last 15, gee, Andrew Walker, clean-winded. He sounds like a racehorse, Tim. Down to you.
Well, he was just saying he's a little bit tired, Andrew.
Yeah, I'm really buzzing actually, mate. It's great to be back, and that's the sort of games you want to come back in. Nice close one, and yeah, good to get the ball rolling.
Well, your touch was there tonight. You got back into the swing of things pretty quickly.
Yeah, I've been working pretty hard. It's when you're in rehab, you know, it's probably harder than actually the main training. So just getting the hours up with a touch and just continuing goal practice, goal kicking and all that stuff. So it's going okay.
And you've developed a lot of depth in this club too, haven't you?
Yeah, we've shown it tonight. We had a few boys out, Crutz, so Laidler, Bow went out, and even Yaron. So it was good to see the boys, you know, stick it out. It got a bit close, but it was a good effort by the boys.
And you had a bit of a fly tonight. You stuck the landing beautifully, but you just couldn't quite grab hold of the mark of the year.
It started raining, I think, when I went up for that run, so I just slipped a little bit, but I'll get one next week.
Well done. Great to see you back out here.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.